Basketball is more than simply a game. It is a stage where heroes emerge, legends are created, and the impossible becomes a reality. Caitlin Clark has emerged as a shining example of brilliance in a sport defined by tenacity, talent, and a never-ending desire for greatness. She is more than simply a player. She is a sensation, an irresistible force that has captured the hearts of millions. Despite their apparent brilliance, the United States women's basketball team took a move that stunned the globe. They elected to omit Caitlin Clark from their Olympic squad, an astonishing decision that rapidly became the buzz of the sports world. Today, we'll look at the events that led up to this surprising choice, the game in which Caitlin Clark exposed USA basketball's weaknesses, and the legacy she's making in real time.
Girls high school basketball in Iowa, you know the name Caitlin Clark, Dowling Catholic star guard, the nation's #4 prospect in the 2020 class.
Caitlin Clark is not a typical athlete. From her early days in high school when she broke records and redefined what it meant to be a teenage basketball prodigy, to her collegiate career at the University of Iowa, Caitlin has constantly demonstrated that she is a once-in-a-generation player. Caitlin swiftly rose to prominence as a household name thanks to her long-range shooting, court vision, and ability to dominate the game. By the time she filed for the WNBA draft, she was already a superstar with a fan base that matched the biggest names in sports.
Team last summer, that Caitlin Clark. Well, last night she went off on the road at Mason City, putting up 60 points in the Maroons' win.
Despite her clear talent and the ardent love of her fans, Caitlin has had to traverse a terrain fraught with uncertainty, jealousy, and open hate. Some of the sport's finest names have questioned her location, style, and even her eligibility to compete among the elite. But Caitlin, with her customary resolve, has let her game speak for itself. And nowhere was this more apparent than in the events preceding and following her expulsion from the USA Basketball Olympic squad.
I didn't realize how many I had, but I don't know, it must have just kept building up and stuff. I mean, I never would have imagined I would score 60 points, so like, I don't know.
When the final selection for the USA Women's Basketball Olympic team was revealed, the lack of Caitlin Clark's name sent shockwaves through the sports world. How could the best player in women's basketball, arguably one of the most electric athletes on the planet, not be included? Both fans and analysts were perplexed. This wasn't just a dubious move, it was a clear oversight that many people predicted would come back to haunt the squad.
The Caitlin Clark bet. Thank you very much.
The arguments provided by the decision makers were as diverse as they were unsatisfactory. Some cited Caitlin's age, stating she lacked the necessary experience for the global stage. Others noted her playing style, arguing that her reliance on long-range shooting made her a liability in international competition. However, their explanations fell hollow. Caitlin Clark had previously shown herself against the world's finest players, frequently outperforming them with her scoring abilities and leadership on the court. The decision to leave her off the team was not only wrong, but also unjust.
Team USA's win over Japan only drew 13,040 fans, which was the lowest attended game among the opening 6 matchups in group play.
The decision to omit Caitlin from the Olympic roster sparked an outcry, but it also set the stage for one of basketball's most dramatic moments in recent memory. Caitlin did not simply accept the rejection, she utilized it as motivation. She realized she had much to prove, not just to her followers, but to those who had questioned her.
I mean, Caitlin is a great player, and I think the way that she's kind of came into this league, she's continuing to hold her own and show everyone what she can do.
When Caitlin Clark faced the USA basketball team in a high-stakes WNBA contest, it wasn't just another game. That was a statement. Caitlin played with a chip on her shoulder, delivering an intensity that made everyone else on the court struggle to keep up. Caitlin was on a mission, and it was evident right away. She didn't simply play well, she dominated, leaving no doubt about her status among the elite. Caitlin has already experienced criticism from the basketball establishment. Throughout her career, she had faced intense criticism. Her critics frequently cited her style of play, her preference for deep three-pointers and flashy assists, as reasons why she was not a traditional player. What these critics didn't realize was that Caitlin Clark was not interested in being traditional. She wanted to be great.
Speaks really highly to the player that Caitlin is, to the superstardom that she's created, for people to feel this strongly about something that most of us who know basketball, just know it makes sense.
Her animosity with members of the USA basketball hierarchy, including the team's coaching staff and selection committee, had been boiling for years. Some viewed her as a challenge to the status quo, a player who refused to meet the expectations put on her. But Caitlin didn't simply survive the rivalry, she flourished in it. Every time she stepped onto the court, she was sending a message. She belonged, she was here to stay, and no amount of criticism could dim her radiance. Caitlin's performance against the USA basketball team was more than simply a personal success, it was a turning point for the entire system that had doubted her. With each basket and assist, Caitlin exposed the faults in a system that had undervalued her. The USA squad, which had previously prided itself on its ability to scout and pick the greatest players, was suddenly confronted with the truth that they had made a major error. This game wasn't just about Caitlin proving herself, it was about exposing the flaws in a system that had failed to recognize her brilliance. As Caitlin continued to dominate, it became evident that leaving her off the Olympic squad would be one of the most costly mistakes in USA basketball history.
Team USA's win over Japan only drew 13,040 fans, which was the lowest attended game among the opening 6 matchups in group play.
The sports world was buzzing in the days and weeks after the event. Analysts who had previously questioned Caitlin's position were now screaming her praises. Fans flocked to social media to voice their displeasure at the decision to keep her off the team, with many calling for accountability in the USA basketball administration. However, the most significant influence of Caitlin's performance was on the future of USA basketball. The team, long regarded as unbeatable, was now considered fragile, with its decision-making process called into question, and Caitlin Clark, the player who had been deemed unworthy, had become a symbol of everything wrong with the system. Caitlin Clark's journey is far from complete, but the impact she is leaving is unmistakable. She is more than just a terrific player. She is a trailblazer, a disruptor, and someone who refuses to be limited by the constraints that others try to place on her. Caitlin has demonstrated that greatness is not about fitting into a mold, but about shattering it and reinventing what it means to be a champion. Her contribution to women's basketball cannot be emphasized. Prior to Caitlin, the sport was frequently disregarded and struggled to establish itself in the public. But when she arrived, everything changed. People who had never seen a women's basketball game before were lured in by the sheer brilliance of Caitlin's performance. She introduced enthusiasm, vitality, and most significantly, a new generation of fans to the sport. Caitlin Clark's impact goes far beyond the basketball floor. She represents the power of tenacity, the strength of self-belief, and the influence that one individual can have on the world. In a sport dominated by teams and methods, Caitlin has demonstrated that individual talent can shine through and that a single player may transform the game.
Everyone was up in arms about Caitlin Clark not being on the squad. Caitlin has proven to be a game changer both on and off the court.
Caitlin's narrative, however, reminds us of the obstacles that come with brilliance. She has received criticism, mistrust, and plain antagonism from those who should have backed her, but she has never wavered in her quest for perfection. Caitlin Clark is significant because she personifies the spirit of resilience, the conviction that no matter how many times you're knocked down, you get back up and keep fighting. As Caitlin Clark continues to build her place in basketball history, one thing is certain: her journey is far from over. The day she revealed USA basketball marked a watershed moment not only in her career, but also in the sport's future. Caitlin has demonstrated that she is more than capable of leading a team to victory, and that she deserves every accolade and ounce of praise that comes her way.
She's continuing to hold her own and show everyone what she can do. I think that, I'm excited to go alongside these 12, but know that Caitlin is going to have a bright future with USA basketball.
But Caitlin Clark's story serves as a warning lesson for those who doubt the power of great talent. The decision to keep her off the Olympic squad will be remembered as one of the worst errors in USA basketball history. It was a decision based on antiquated thinking, a refusal to acknowledge the brilliance of a player who is altering the game in real time. As we look ahead, it is evident that Caitlin Clark will be a strong force in basketball. Her skill, dedication, and steadfast trust in herself will keep her on top of her game for years to come. And as she continues to smash records and defy expectations, she will encourage the next generation of athletes to follow in her footsteps. Caitlin Clark's legacy is that of a terrific player who refused to be defined by others and, as a result, changed basketball. The day she exposed the USA, basketball was a win not only for Caitlin, but for all athletes who have ever been neglected, undervalued, or discarded. It was a reminder of true brilliance will always ascend to the top, regardless of the hurdles. Caitlin Clark did not simply play the game, she altered it. For that, she will be remembered remembered as one of the best at doing it.
And I think, the points that she made, she's even more motivated, more hungry, and just knowing that her time is going to come.
Caitlin Clark's story is one of determination, of a young athlete who refused to let uncertainty and criticism define her. She exemplifies what it means to be truly great, not only in basketball, but in life. As we watch her journey unfold, one thing is clear: Caitlin Clark is here to stay, and she isn't done making history. So continue to watch, cheer, and most importantly, believe in the power of greatness, because with Caitlin Clark on the court, anything is possible.
Caitlin Clark, I'm sure you saw, just became the all-time scoring leader in women's college basketball. I'm curious, where would you rank her amongst all-time college players in your opinion?
Ooh. Caitlin Clark, who is from Iowa now in the Fevers, has had an incredible path to basketball stardom.
Apparently there's a WNBA player named A'ja Wilson. Apparently she's pretty good. Caitlin Clark brings it down, goes twice between her legs, step back jack. A'ja Wilson doesn't like that. A'ja Wilson isn't smart enough to understand that everybody's going to get fat because of Caitlin Clark.
Her unusual Iowa accent and pleasant attitude have made her a fan favorite, but her amazing talent on the court is what actually distinguishes her.
The Player of the Year, number 22, Caitlin Clark.
Clark's ability to fill stadiums, record-breaking performances, and magnetic personality have solidified her place as one of the most entertaining players in women's basketball today.
Iowa's women's basketball wrapping up their regular season schedule with a showdown against number 2 ranked Indiana. The game has garnered some national attention as College Game Day takes over Iowa City.
Clark's ability to captivate audiences is unsurpassed.
Caitlin Clark is one of the biggest names in college basketball. People travel all over the country to watch number 22 play, whether it's right here in Iowa City or on the road in the Big Ten. And what bigger and better stage to watch number 22 play in than one of the biggest games?
From high school gyms to college arenas, she has constantly filled venues with crowds eager to see her exceptional skills.
15,000 strong in a sold-out Carver Hawkeye Arena. No one more excited to watch the junior play than little girls, not only in the state of Iowa, but beyond. Watching Clark live out her dreams on the court, giving them hope that one day they can do the same.
Her accomplishments are numerous, including being a leading scorer, recording numerous triple-doubles, and delivering clutch performances that left viewers in amazement.
It's fun to come to games that you can watch, and it hopefully inspires you to play better or practice more, see how they play.
It is very inspiring, and it's nice to be in the environment, so I have somewhat of an idea what it's like to, be in a college environment.
Her unwavering determination and competitive spirit have made her a household name in basketball circles. Caitlin Clark's success began in her hometown of West Des Moines, Iowa, where she swiftly rose to prominence as a high school basketball star.
An unreal day for women's basketball here in Iowa City, from a top 10 matchup to a sold-out Carver Hawkeye Arena to even College Game Day making the trip to Iowa City, a game that I'm sure so many little girls will never forget.
Her remarkable skills on the court garnered her national notice and a scholarship to the University of Iowa, where she has continued to excel. As a freshman, Clark led the nation in scoring and assists.
Honestly, I think work really hard, have dreams, chase them, but also there's going to be moments that are really hard and there's going to be moments that are great. That's what every single person goes through in their life, whether you want to be a professional athlete,
breaking numerous records along the process. Her sophomore year was even more amazing as she continued to dominate the court while leading her team to victory.
Whatever you want to do, there's going to be moments of hardship and then a lot of amazing moments, but that's what makes the moments of really great times, that's what makes it so amazing. So I think don't let anybody tell you can't do something. You can achieve whatever you want in life. I think especially for young girls, have confidence. I think that's something a lot of young girls struggle with, is confidence, and lucky enough,
Clark's list of accomplishments is astonishing. She was the first player in NCAA history to lead the nation in both points and assists per game in a single season.
I was just trying to exit the court as quickly as possible, so I started running, and I was absolutely just hammered by somebody trying to run onto the court and basically blindsided and, kind of scary. Could have caused a pretty serious injury to me and knocked the wind out of me, but luckily my teammates kind of picked me up and got me off the court. So, and their AD already came and apologized to me, so I really appreciate that. And, this is what comes with the territory. I mean, I'm sure they tried their best to do whatever they could. Obviously, it didn't work.
She has achieved multiple triple-doubles, demonstrating her versatility and all-around skill. Clark's ability to score from wherever on the court, combined with her remarkable court vision and passing skills, distinguishes her as a unique and formidable player.
Fans filed in from the rain, whether they were season ticket holders.
They're fun to watch. You'll have a good time if you come and watch them.
Or they made the trip up from the metro.
We love watching Caitlin Clark, and she's really fun, and all the players on the team are really fun to watch, and we really enjoy watching them.
Clark's attitude and charisma have won her fans. In addition to her on-court performance, she has a natural capacity to connect with others, whether it's through conversations with fans or social media. Her humility and genuine love for the game shine through everything she does.
These sisters from Urbandale were among several young fans who had their sights set on Caitlin Clark, and it's hard to blame them with the way she plays. The sophomore from West Des Moines remembers that was once her.
I feel like I was just that little girl. Like, I grew up around the game.
Making her a role model for aspiring players. While Caitlin Clark's profile continues to grow, another name linked with brilliance in women's basketball is A'ja Wilson. Wilson, a formidable force in the WNBA, has also made an impact with her extraordinary talent and leadership. The South Carolina native and former collegiate great has become one of the league's most well-known and respected players.
It's good. It's really good. I love playing here. It's a different vibe. It's a different feel. Obviously, with the Knights, it's the Knights' home, so it's pretty cool just to be here and just go out here and have some fun. Go out here and be us. That's free. I don't care where we play. We just got to be us.
A'ja Wilson's contribution to the game is unquestionable. She was voted National Player of the Year after leading her team to a national title while attending the University of South Carolina. Her move to the WNBA was easy, and she rapidly established herself as a formidable force for the Las Vegas Aces. Wilson's scoring abilities, defensive skills, and leadership characteristics have earned her perennial All-Star and MVP honors. Aside from her remarkable statistics, Wilson is noted for her leadership both on and off the court. She has been an outspoken champion for social justice and equality, using her platform to raise awareness about key topics.
A'ja Wilson isn't smart enough to understand that everybody's going to get fat because of Caitlin Clark. Everybody won't get fat if they keep bringing up the ridiculous, idiotic, and tired old notion of racism. A'ja Wilson, who bitch whined and moaned and continues to bitch whine and moan that Caitlin Clark is only popular because she's white.
Wilson's dedication to making a big difference goes beyond basketball, garnering her the respect and affection of fans and peers alike. Caitlin Clark and A'ja Wilson have both sold out shows and merchandise. Their popularity and influence in the sport have resulted in great commercial success, with fans ready to support their favorite players.
Be more far off. Hey, look, we love Steph Curry as a black man because of how he plays. We don't give two craps about Steph Curry or Caitlin Clark being white, black, green, or purple. When in doubt, yell racism, and when in doubt, look stupid doing it. And the latest is this moron named A'ja Wilson.
One of the most noteworthy examples of commercial success is Caitlin Clark's Wilson basketball line. Fans went wild when she launched her signature basketball collection. The collection's one-of-a-kind designs and personal touches struck a chord with supporters. From handwritten notes to career highlights, each basketball in the collection told a tale about Clark. Clark's basketball collection drew an extraordinary response. The four versions, which were the EV NXT, 3,951 game basketball, WNBA Ascent basketball, and repetition basketball, cost $99.95 a piece. Regardless of price, the collection sold out within hours of its release. Fans wanted to possess a piece of basketball history, and the demand vastly outstripped Wilson's supply. A'ja Wilson also has her basketball line, which is part of Wilson's sporting goods lineup. While not in as high demand as Clark's collection, Wilson's basketball remains a popular item among fans. Her characteristic style and branding make it an appealing product, but it lacks the personal touches that set Clark's collection apart. The differences in market performance between Clark and Wilson's basketball lines can be linked to their marketing methods. Clark's collection was marketed as a limited edition, instilling a sense of urgency in enthusiasts. The personal touches and unique designs enhanced its charm. In comparison, Wilson's basketball is part of a larger lineup and lacks the same level of exclusivity. The success of Caitlin Clark's basketball collection extends beyond sales figures. It represents a transformation in the way women's basketball is viewed and promoted. Clark's ability to swiftly sell out her collection demonstrates her great popularity and influence. It also demonstrates the increased awareness and support for women's sports. Caitlin Clark's accomplishments are especially noteworthy when considered in light of the history of women's basketball. She is the first female athlete to own her own Wilson collection, dating back to Michael Jordan in the 1980s. This achievement reflects her impact on the sport and the progress being made in developing women's athletics. Clark's achievements are more than just her accomplishments. It provides hope and encouragement to young females who want to play basketball. Her journey from Iowa to national fame demonstrates that with hard work and devotion, anything is achievable. Clark's collection is intended to inspire the next generation of athletes to take up basketball and chase their aspirations. Amanda Lamb, Wilson's head of global brand, sees Clark as more than just a record-breaking athlete. She regards Clark as a cultural icon who had a significant impact on the sport. Clark's influence goes beyond the basketball court, making her a key figure in both athletics and popular culture. Caitlin Clark's marketability has also resulted in collaborations with major brands such as Nike, Gatorade, and State Farm. These collaborations demonstrate her standing as a top athlete with a marketable personality. Clark's ability to get such sponsorships demonstrates her extensive appeal as well as respect for her talent and influence. Clark's success and the popularity of her basketball collection demonstrate the growing interest in women's basketball. As additional competitors like Clark and Wilson make their mark, the sport will certainly gain awareness and support. The financial success of these players shows that there is a sizable market for women's sports items. Despite improvements, obstacles remain. The gap in market performance between Clark and Wilson's basketball lines emphasizes the need for efficient marketing methods as well as personal branding.
I was those little girls. I was always begging my dad to take me to basketball games, college basketball games, no matter what it was really. I always wanted to be around the games.
Clark continues to rack up stats on the court, which will make her a record breaker.
That's the thing I'm most proud of, is how humble she's remained.
To continue to flourish, women's basketball requires a determined effort to market the sport and its participants. Caitlin Clark's legacy is already being shaped. Her contribution to the game and ability to connect with fans has set her apart.
It's the way she is off the court that makes her a role model.
You know, I think that was the most kids we've really had all season today. The tunnel was just packed with kids, and you know, I try to make time to high-five every single one of them, and you know, that's really what it's all about, inspiring the next generation, and I think our team does a tremendous job of that.
Clark's narrative is about talent, determination, and a passion for the game. As she reaches new milestones, her influence will only expand.
One of the most fun parts of this whole ride with the Hawkeyes right now in Caitlin Clark Mania is seeing these swarms of kids waiting for autographs after games and then just seeing their reactions when they get a picture with her or they get something signed. You might remember this scene from Monday's Elite 8 post game in Albany. We had it live here on CBS 2 and Fox 28. That girl getting her shoes signed by Caitlin, and that's the appropriate reaction.
Athletes like Clark and Wilson rely heavily on media publicity and fan support to succeed. Positive media attention and passionate fan bases promote these players and highlight their accomplishments.
Micaiah McCann, 15-year-old from the Albany, New York area, got to go to both Iowa games out there, and then popular sites like Awful Announcing and Just Women's Sports shared that scene from our live stream. That is how Micaiah found out she was on live TV in Eastern Iowa. She found us, reached out to us to tell us that she's the shoe girl.
Fans' sold-out basketball collections are a direct outcome of their love and enthusiasm for their favorite players.
On Saturday, I was like, there's no way I get her autograph. She's such a big deal. There's going to be people lined up down there. Like, it's insane. But on Monday, I was like determined. I was saying before the game, I'm going to get this autograph. It's going to happen. And everybody was like, I hope you do.
The phenomenon of sold-out basketball collections extends beyond individual achievements. It reflects a larger trend in the sports industry, in which athletes are becoming cultural icons.
I got down there and I was wearing Nike Blazers, so they're really hard to take off. I was like, I need Caitlin to sign my shoe. So I quickly took the laces out, pulled it down, just held it there for 40 minutes. Oh my God. And then she came over and she signed it.
The ability to sell items fast and efficiently highlights the power of athlete branding and the potential for substantial commercial success. Caitlin Clark, Aja Wilson, and the entire women's basketball community have a bright future ahead of them. With each milestone, the sport gains popularity and support. Clark's sold-out basketball collection is just one of the many ways women's sports are making progress. As more athletes break down boundaries and inspire the next generation, the effect of women's basketball will only expand. hand. Caitlin Clark and Aja Wilson are two of the most prominent players in women's basketball today. Their talent, commitment, and influence go beyond the court, making them cultural icons. The financial success of their basketball collections demonstrates their impact in the expanding popularity of women's sports. Clark and Wilson continue to surpass new goals, inspiring numerous young athletes and paving the way for a more open and friendly sports environment. The future of women's basketball seems promising, with stars like Clark and Wilson leading the way to continuing growth and success. Is Clark able to bring a remarkable change to the current buzzing WNBA narrative? I strongly believe she is in for a great ride in the sport. What's your take on her? Let's hear it in the comments section. Meanwhile, like and subscribe to our channel to get updates on recent happenings around this young prodigy and the basketball community. Thanks for watching.